Give us a song, you're the piano man. So I remember I first discovered Billy Joel when I was in college. That one summer, I got a new roommate, and he had a stereo and like three albums. I can't remember what the other two were, but one of them was Billy Joel. I don't know if his album was called Piano Man. But anyway, so speaking of college, now that you brought it up, yeah, that one summer, I don't know, it might have been that same summer that I had a roommate that introduced me to Billy Joel. Uh, you know, Robert Morris, they used to in the summertime rent out a bunch of dorm space. I think I might have mentioned before about one summer they rented it out to. We always called it a stewardess school. Actually, it was a school that taught people to work in the airline industry. Um, but they also the companies would have like corporate retreats and stuff there. They'd rent out dorm space and that. And so at one time they had let kind of, and I have no idea what the group was that was there, but they let them like take over our tennis courts and stuff like that. And us students weren't allowed to use the facilities. And so we complained to the administration. We had like this big meeting. And I remember the president of the school was there and other people. And there was quite a few of us students there. It's probably at least 100 people, which is a big crowd in the summer. And I was one of the ringleaders or whatever. And I remember at one point they're arguing, and the president of the college made a comment of something like, "You may be in the wrong school." But anyway, but we actually we got some uh, relief or whatever, because they ended up making arrangements for the students to get to use a private tennis club a couple miles away from campus. I remember me and a friend going down there a couple of times. But the, the other thing about that was, I think I have mentioned before that I had a campus job while I was gone, and I worked in the AV department doing various things. A lot of it had to do with, that's back when in class I used to use 16 millimeter projectors a lot. And I'd take them, if a teacher would say he was, needed one, and I'd take it over to that classroom and, set it all up and stuff. And if we had the film for it, I'd, get it all queued up and stuff. And the one time we got a call that they wanted a TV and VCR over at the administration building. And this is kind of the early days of VCRs, by the way. If you're old enough, you'll remember. Well, a lot of people now don't even know what a VCR is. But the first ones, instead of having the slot in the front, a lot of them they sort of popped up on top. That was the original VCRs. But anyway, so I got we we used to run around in golf carts, and I got the golf cart and had to take over the VCR and the TV, and we had these, carts that they sat on then, and I took that over to the administration building and wheeled it in, and I asked the secretary where they wanted it, and she said she wasn't sure where they were going to use it at, to just stick it in that little conference room there and just leave it in there. So I did. I took it in there and I sat it. And about an hour later, get a call, and they can't get the thing to work. So my boss says, "Hey, run over there and see what's going on with it." And I go over to the administration building, and they're in that room where I had put the VCR, and it was the president of the college and his number two man. And I go in, they'd gotten some kind of a film that they wanted to view, and they just couldn't figure out the VCR wasn't working at all. So I went over to examine it, and with my technical expertise, I saw where they hadn't plugged it in. The way those carts were, those AV carts, you had the cart on wheels, and they had a, like a power strip on them, and then you just plugged the cart into the wall, and everything on the cart just plugged into the cart itself. But anyway, so I plugged it in, and I was like, oh, well, here, see, you have to plug it in here. And I got it all fired up, and then I'm showing them, now see, to watch the movie, you hit play, and you do. And I was like very polite and saying, would you like me to stay and do it? And they said, no, we can take care of it. And I remember when I get back over to where I worked at, my boss was there all nervous because after he sent me over there, he realized that he was sending me over to deal with this guy that I'd had an argument with in that meeting. But he was like, I don't know why he didn't trust me to act professionally when I went over. But yeah, that was just a little memory of college. It was kind of fun going in because I say I was polite, but I'm sure I was a little bit was being a little like sarcastic or something, talking to them like they were 5-year-olds. Now what you do is you stick the tape in here and you push this button, and so anyway, that's another exciting story of my college days, and the education that made me the man I am today. So take that as you will, and peace out.